Hello YouTubers. Well, yes, I'm using the microphone from the headset this time to see if that will avoid the high-pitched noises that people seem to be receiving from the built-in camera, built-in microphone. So, what do I want to tell you today? Well, a lot of people, probably young people, have been asking me about the war, which I've already talked about in previous videos since I was only a child during the war, and I've talked about being in the air raids and air raid shelters and things that happened to me whilst I was at home. But although the war had nearly finished by the time I got to be 18, I was still conscripted. Everybody from the age of 18 to 45, I think it was, unless you were in some reserved occupation, were conscripted. And so we all waited for the buff envelope to arrive to tell us that that was our fate and had happened to us. And of course the inevitable day arrived, and I was with many other people instructed to go to a place in the town where I lived where we would have our medical examination. And that was terribly embarrassing, because we all had to strip completely, so there was a queue of a line of us naked young men waiting to be inspected and examined by the doctor. Well, I think we were terribly naive. I mean, we didn't have television. We had never seen naked people. There were no top shelf magazines. Newspaper certainly didn't have any pictures of nude or naked people in them, and so it was terribly embarrassing. I mean, what do you do with your hands when you're naked? Do you put them on your hips, or do you put them behind you or in front of you? And so we all queued up to be examined, and when you got to the doctor, it was his job to see whether you were fit enough to be accepted into the forces. Well, there wasn't much of an inspection. I mean, if you were standing up and breathing, you were accepted, but they didn't do very much. They tapped on your chest to see whether your lungs had got any air in them, and they looked in your eyes and your mouth and any other orifice, and you were passed as A1 and accepted. And of course we all knew that one part of the examination was going to take place that was even more embarrassing, because there was one part of the procedure where the doctor would hold your testicles and ask you to cough. Goodness knows what he was able to diagnose from that, but it happened to all of us. And I often wonder if what he would put as his job description in his CV or resume. But however, it all happened, and we were passed fit, and then sent, I think, to another room where we could get dressed and were sent home until we were instructed to go to wherever they were going to send us. And I've got many stories of what happened there when we got sent to our what would you call it, our not barracks, but place where we were going to receive our initial training. And you could select what service you wanted to go into. Not that that would make a great deal of difference if they didn't want you to go there, but you did have a choice, and I chose the Navy. Goodness knows why, because I hated the sea, and fortunately I never had to go to sea or on a ship, so that was all right. And I don't really know why I chose the Navy, possibly because a friend who was a bit older than myself had been conscripted probably about a few weeks before, and had finished his initial sort of training and square bashing, and was home on his first leave. And he was in the army, and his uniform didn't appeal to me one little bit. It was like sackcloth, and so I thought perhaps the sailor's uniform would be more sexy, I suppose, but it was pretty well just as ridiculous as the others. But so that's all I can tell you at the moment. There's lots more stories I will tell you about my initiation into the forces and the conditions that prevailed at the first establishment that we went to. But for now, I'll leave that. We've gone on quite long enough, I think, and so I'll leave that now and say goodbye.
That was easy.